Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'm going to have an exciting show for you today. I have someone who is doing big things in real estate, has sort of seen the vision with buy and hold, has got a huge long track record. And as you'll see in the middle, we kind of share a same history of being involved in the tech industry. So I want to welcome Dean Rodgers to the show from Home Helpers Group. How you doing, Dean?
Hey, I'm doing great, Michael. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Just real quick, Dean, tell us where you are, where you're at in the country, and kind of what you do day in, day out in real estate, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So thanks for having me. Look forward to chatting with you and diving into some juicy details. So I'm sitting right now in my home office that also serves as a guest room for any friends that visit, and the joys of the modern entrepreneur. So I live in San Diego, and again, I'm in my home office here. And I grew up in Visalia, California, and so that's where I do business. I'm in San Diego because just out of college, played in the NFL for a short bit, and once I got the taste of SoCal and the beaches, it was everything we wanted. So we'll dive into the history in a little bit here, but can't get the wife out of San Diego. But business is headquartered in Visalia. We do everything up between Fresno and Bakersfield, and other good deals elsewhere as well. But that's where our main business is.
Very cool. Obviously, I'm in Fresno as well. I've been there for now 17 years since we got that first property in the Mayfair. What do you do? Are you mainly buy and hold, mainly flipping, wholesaling, whatever it is? What do you do in that market?
Yeah. So when I got started in real estate, again, we'll dive into the history. When I got started, I started in wholesaling because that was the information I was receiving. That was the best way to get started. And so I was doing that for about a year. I then found my business partner, still to this day. He was long into the business for already 10 years and said, "Hey, you want to flip some houses together?" So started flipping houses, been doing that for, I've been in the business now 6 years. So I was doing it for about, 3.5, 4 years until I had that light bulb moment that said, dude, flipping houses is a grind. You can get big fat paychecks. You can also lose money. I can tell you plenty of stories of messing up and learning lessons. And I said, dude, I got to start buying rentals, and that's going to be, cash flow month in, month out, and, a legacy I can leave on for my family, allow me to have the freedom, which, is what you preach and what resonates so much with me. So I definitely adopt what you're selling. So and then we've been flipping a lot of houses, been doing close to 100 a year. And then start of 2019, we said, let's focus on rentals and wholesaling. We're really good at finding deals. It's always been just what we're the best at. Okay at flips, not always great, do great sometimes, but we're great at finding deals. Wholesaling, we've been knocking it out of the park in 2019, and really picking up a lot more rentals too. So we're doing great.
Well, I think you've sort of stumbled on the magic. I mean, if I had two things to do, it would be wholesaling for that chunk money, right? You're in and out of contract in days, and then long-term holds, right? I think flipping gets some attraction from HGTV and all these, flipping shows. Everybody thinks they can do it, but there's the hold time and the risk factor, especially into a changing market. Wow. I mean, that's a lot riskier than people would think, correct?
Oh, 100%. We saw at the end of 2018, interest rates hiking up a little bit, the market getting a little tired and soft on the buyer side.
Yeah.
There was 5 or 6 tight margin deals that we were on paper making 10 to 15, because we were really trying to push the envelope, push the numbers, and those turned into $2,000, $5,000 losses. Yeah. And it was like, ouch, that added up to chunk money that we would have liked to have in our pocket.
No, and let's be clear, what you just talked about, I saw firsthand when the market rolled over in '08 and '09. But what people did different is they held on and just had this blind faith that it would return. So what was a
Yeah.
2K or a 5K loss became a 50K loss. And many of them just held on and lost them all to bankruptcy. So
Yeah.
first off, congratulations swallowing that and just saying, okay, I'll take a 2K hit now, let the inventory go and fight a new day. Not everybody sees that. So congratulations.
No. Yeah, people get their ego caught up in it. And if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, it's like, hey, you know what? You can make this up much more by finding better deals and just focusing on finding better deals rather than just praying and hoping to make a dollar on one, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's knock out the one that is not in your doing right now, flipping. Why don't we tell some people some fun stories about flipping? You've already brought up one couple of tight deals at the end of 18 where you lost some money. It doesn't necessarily have to be a loss, but let's just scare some people into going, you know what? I don't want to be a flipper.
Oh,
Let's
you ready to
scare
scare
them.
some people?
Yes, please do. Scare them.
This is why you brought me on the show.
Yes.
I see now. Okay. Oh man, do I have some stories? So I've got 4 life events, I'm going to call them.
Nice.
The first was when I got introduced unpleasantly to flipping. Just done a pretty solid year. I think I maybe made, it was around 50 grand my first year doing 8 deals. You know, a couple of them were a couple thousand. Some of them were, 6, 7, 8. So I was feeling, hey, I'm doing all right. I'm getting started. And, came up to my business partner. He said, hey, you're great at finding deals. Let's flip some houses together. I didn't have a lot of capital at times. Don't worry. I can't mess up. I had done some wholesaling in Arizona, despite living at the time in San Francisco. He said, let's go check out Arizona. So we buy 6 houses in the matter of a month and a half. And he says, let's pump the brakes. Let's make sure these turn out right. I was still pushing right. Hard. But he said, let's pump the brakes. So we did. The net result of that was every horror story, bad contractors, the price that we bought it at, we're using ARVs across the street, which were, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 higher. We held them for 2 of those properties for a year plus. So the net of it was three we lost money, 3 we made money, not much. And the net loss was $100,000. That's my intro to flipping.
Congratulations. Welcome to the party. Yay.
Yeah. Super fun. Fortunately, I'm not a quitter. I'm as persistent, and thick-headed as it gets. So I fought my way out of that in the year of 2014-15, getting more deals, doing flips with my partner in our local market and getting out of it. We're fine. So that was pretty much my 14-15 years doing that. The next life event, I'm doing good. I'm making money. I'm on the rise. And I'm in San Diego. Hey, I want to do some flips in San Diego. Okay. The market's hot here. Well, there's some wolves in sheep clothing out there in the world of life. It doesn't have to be just real estate. It can be everywhere. And there's American greed. I got caught into like an American greed type story. There's a guy in San Diego that was in our circle of trust and people who was borrowing money, getting people involved in deals. The short story is like 20 plus people who have now filed lawsuits and millions of dollars. For me, I lost $187,000 by buying a piece of dirt that was supposed to be a new construction, supposed to make me, $100,000. The end of the story, a year later, I lost $187,000 because of the pile of crap he left me and served me on a plate. So that's the short story of it. I could spend a lot of time.
Did he end up in jail?
He might be dead right now. He might be dead. I don't know.
Okay. You don't know. Fair enough. That's so far 2 good stories. I like it. I look forward to the next 2.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, that was it was a very big life lesson. Don't trust blindly. You gotta check the details. Don't be afraid to call someone and verify something. And the biggest lesson for me, it was, you got to keep your circle of people that you trust pretty small. And, if there's a bad apple out there, you got to flush them out. You don't have any time for that. If there's any red flags, just don't waste your time. There's plenty of other deals. So hope some people have they've already exited out of the podcast. They're too scared to listen any further.
Exactly. Oh my God, I don't want to be a flipper.
Yeah, I don't want it. So yeah, the third is same guy, had 2 flips going with him. The end of the story is they made money, but when they closed, and I knew they closed, I reached out, hey, where's the P&L on this? Where's my profit? Oh, we didn't make any money. Okay, show me the statements. Couldn't show me any statements. Told me to go, kick rocks, basically, and just a terrible human being. So unfortunate. And then the fourth I already shared. We're flying through 2018. 2017 was a total burner. Any mistakes you made got covered up with just the market appreciating. 2018 through the summer, another hot market, and then end of 18. Pump the brakes, interest rates hike, buyers are soft, nowhere to be found, and we took probably about $50,000 loss right there. A little swift kick in the nuts. So that's the reality. Most people aren't talking about it. They're flashing their updated pictures on their rehabs and look at this new house I bought, everything's great. But the people who are pushing the envelope and aren't being overly cautious, which you can and can be successful, but the people I know pushing the envelope, they have the same stories. They're just not standing at the top of the roof shouting it to everyone and sharing these.
Well, again, when you're in what you call the hot market, I call a seller's market, same stuff. You can run a bad business and be really, really wealthy because the market protects you. When market changes and shoot, we just had a hiccup, right? It didn't even have a cold yet. Got the sniffles. Buyers disappeared. Interest rates spiked a half or a point, which have now come down. But that's enough to, take a profitable deal and make it negative. And again, what you did by flushing them, I can tell you right now, half the people that I'd be talking to would still be holding them. And now it wouldn't be a $3,000 loss, it'd be a $30,000 loss because you have 3 more months of carrying costs and insurance and security and blah, 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 blah. So,
I had the joke earlier that my son would come in while we're on this.
That's okay.
That news reporter, and be another good story on the news.
There you go. Well, I'm really proud of you sort of sharing that. Again, flipping can be profitable. I think if you do 1 or 2 at a time, I think you can come out okay. But once you try to make it your main business and you're building that inventory that you stagger out and all these jobs, the cost of capital, which is usually hard money or private money, gets so high. You're so at risk to market cycles, especially near the end of a long, 10-year appreciation. It's dicey. So let's
Michael, I think that some big takeaways from that, just to share with your audience. You don't need to do a deal just to do a deal.
Amen.
You've said it before. I've heard you say it. I listen to your podcast, and you have said it. The numbers don't work. They don't work. Don't try to make them work. There's other deals out there, and you will thank yourself for passing. Some of the best deals are the ones you don't do, as they say. So I have learned that lesson, and we couldn't be more happy to be wholesaling and do the ones we feel super confident about. We'll do those. We can find great deals and let other people do great at them, you know? And also, you don't need to rush into deals. I mean, I could build on that, but the biggest point is you don't need to do a deal to do a deal. You just don't.
Absolutely.
And the other one that just popped back into my head is a lot of people, they have a mistake or a hiccup and they give up. I mean, all of the success stories of the most successful and rich and famous and whatever, they've had so many failures. And the more failures you have, in theory, the more successful you can be because you learn from them and it accelerates your growth. We could go down a whole story about that, but I've gotten, beat the hell up. But if I wasn't persistent, I would have never got out of that hole, because I wouldn't have been making more money to then overcome that. And it would have been way worse.
I totally agree. I've said it, and I'm going to say it every chance I get. Real estate investing provides freedom, time, and financial freedom for guys like us that want to make the investment, but it will test you for a decade because it wants to make sure you're up for the challenge. The very first property we ever bought, we did everything right. And then the couple got divorced and the guy became an alcoholic and destroyed my property. Nothing we could have done different. We checked every box, every reference check and credit check and this, that, and the other thing. And I promise you, most of the people that would have done that would have said, oh my God, I'm going to sell this thing, sell it at a loss. I don't want to be in Fresno anymore. I told you everybody out there is blah, blah, blah. And no, we just picked ourselves up, lost 20 grand on that, flip, only picked up one check, the deposit he made when he moved in, and then had to evict him 6 months later. It was painful, but I wouldn't be sitting here with this book behind me and talking to you if I didn't stick with it. So
exactly,
real estate tests you, and you just keep moving forward. Get yourself up off the ground and move forward.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's talk about the fun stuff now. So what do you want to talk about? Buy and hold or wholesaling first?
Let's talk about wholesaling because I'm excited about that.
All right, let's do it. So you get into the game.
Buy and hold, we're gonna talk more about that, I'm sure.
I'm sure. So you get into wholesaling in 14. I think you said you did 8 deals. Is that right?
Yeah. So it was 13. I got into it. It's been 6 years now. And how that was born was, and I guess we could kind of get into the history.
Sure.
Is
go for it.
I just got done playing in the NFL, right? And I was trying to figure out what was I going to do now? And very quickly after, an alumni from UC Davis, I went to UC Davis, a guy from the football team, mortgage company in San Francisco said, hey, I'm looking to hire somebody. Basically hired me sight unseen. I'm moving to San Francisco, starting my career. A month into it, a college buddy played football with calls me up, said, hey man, what are you doing? Dude, you got to check out this company that I'm working for right now. They're about to, go public in a year. Tech company, big ERP software company. They're going to be the next thing. And so, 3 months after my first job into the, civilian life, I'm working for this tech company, and it was perfect. I mean, it has set me up for success for the rest of my life, and I'm forever grateful for that phone call. And it also helped me on my journey in real estate, in me self-discovering that this wasn't just going to be it for me. This was going to allow me to achieve to where I wanted to get and be my platform. But for me, it wasn't going to end just here, clock in, clock out. I wanted more. I wanted to drive hard. And I did that my first year at that tech company, working my ass off, but I didn't see the rewards. I wasn't in a sales position, so I didn't see bonuses and et cetera. So I looked elsewhere. I got online and got on Google and typed in, how to get started in real estate, because growing up, I thought I might be a real estate agent or do something in real estate. Nothing really much more beyond that. And I fell smack dab right on Sean Terry.
Oh yeah.
If you know Sean Terry, he's got the Flip to Freedom podcast. He's got the Flip to Freedom wholesaling course. He's connected with people all over the nation. And 2013 in January, I discovered his podcast, and I became obsessed, like unhealthy obsession with listening to the podcast, and dove into it right away. I didn't wait. I had just blind faith and just fell forward and was doing exactly what he was saying to do, to the extent that he was saying, because he's in Arizona, using his market as an example. Oh, I'm buying here, wholesaling there. Started bidding on properties there, at the HUD home store, FHA foreclosed homes, just right online, and was getting these deals and wholesaling them. And so I did my first deal after just 3 months of discovering Sean Terry's stuff. And I was just so obsessed, dove into it, did my first deal, made $6,000 on the first one by co-wholesaling with Sean Terry. Didn't
Ah,
have a buyer. I even reached out to his acquisitions manager and put it all together. So,
nice.
so that's how I got started. And then, it just took off from there. Just kept diving in there, used, my tech job, which, passion, in that business as well, but it allowed me to make those mistakes and still drive forward
Yeah.
and, push the envelope. And so, to this day now we've grown the business. Wholesaling, I guess, to transition back into that specifically, I just love it personally because I love the hunt and the chase of the deal. I love negotiating. I love speaking with the seller and finding out how I can personally help them and impact them, and make a difference in what they're trying to ultimately achieve. And then, getting that deal together, when you put it together, I just get pumped up. I don't get excited when I sell the deal.
Ah,
When I close on a wholesale and actually make the money, when I close on a flip, I'm not as excited as when I actually ink a contract. That's the most exciting part for me because I got there. Was able to make it happen.
And again, right, this is a nugget for everyone. The money is made. We hear it all the time, but you just heard it again. The money's made the day you buy it, right? Everything else after you buy it, that's just all transactional and operational and maybe plus or minus this or that. But the end result is like, well, I planned for that, right? Okay, great. Put it in the bank account, move on to the next one, right? It's absolutely the hunt, the creative nature, how you can solve problems for people that maybe think, some people we talk to or you talk to don't have much hope, right? They think they're just stuck. So you get to solve some pretty, you get to help people out, which is pretty awesome.
Right. So I get to stay more focused on that now, Michael, rather than dealing with all the headaches of flipping houses.
Absolutely.
I'm hyper focused on dealing directly with, homeowners and agents and wholesalers and all the different ways that you can find properties, driving for dollars. I'm now solving problems and, being creative too. One of the ways that you can set yourself apart is just educating how you can be creative and structuring a deal that makes sense for everybody.
Well, let me just take this moment to document what I'm looking for. So if you want to wholesale me any more properties in the Fresno area, I like to buy things that most people don't like. So I like really small houses, seriously, like 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 600 square feet or less. Most people don't like those, but they make great long-term rentals for older folks. And then I really like owner finance deals. Like if there's somebody looking to punch out, I told you before we hit the record button, I just closed on 15 units last Friday that were all owner finance deals, right? The owner gets, a payment every month and they don't have to tell the IRS, or at least they don't have to take that whole gain right away. So lots of ways to do that. So I don't necessarily need the 3-2-2 that everybody's looking for because I'm a buy and hold rental guy. So I like the oddball stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And those are good perspectives. I think most people are they got goo-goo eyes over the 3-2s and they don't realize what actually makes money. And I think you had some killer points there. The long-term older tenants, I mean, they're not making a mess. They're going to be there for the long term. They're not asking for repairs.
If all my units were 1 bedroom, 1 bath homes, I'd be a very happy man.
Yeah.
It's the big 3-2s, 4-2s, lots of kids run around. That's all wear and tear on your properties. So, So go ahead and do a mailer to everybody who owns a 600 square foot home or smaller, and let's see how many you can get me.
Okay. That's a challenge I accept.
I knew you would. Well, let's talk about your buy and hold now, because that's obviously near and dear to my heart. So you flipped the script this year and you realized here's a question. Hold on. If you had to go back and take every fourth transaction you wholesaled or flipped and you kept them, how good would your life be right now?
Well, given the history I just gave you, I needed those to get out of the hole.
True.
That I dug, right? So
fair enough.
Now, but no, there's no doubt that there's properties that we easily could have held on to that were just no brainers. You're buying houses that are worth, 150, 160 that you're buying for 60, 70.
Yeah.
You need to hold on to those, it's not often you find something like that. So, but in 2018, the light bulb went off right at the beginning of 2018.
Good.
It's folks like you and others online that were, kind of sending the message out. You can keep doing this forever, but when are you going to stop? If you stop working, stop the machine,
yeah.
Where's the money coming from? Well, it's going to be from your passive income. And so light bulb went off, started buying. We already had some flips that we, flipped the script on, and decided to keep as rentals. They penciled out.
Nice.
So I think there was about 5 right off the bat in 2018. And then it was just like, 1 a month or 2 a month. I took some notes down here. So right now, as today stands, we have 17 rentals.
Nice.
Since 2018 that me and my partner own together. He himself was already in it.
Yeah.
Still will buy some on his own outside through some other partnerships, but he's got like, almost 100 units himself.
Okay.
And so we have 17 properties, which equate to 34 doors.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we have 8 properties in escrow that we're closing on Friday. Today's Wednesday. So 2 days we'll close on those. Those will all be rentals. And so we'll have 42 doors after that.
So still are all the rentals the same kind of big swath, or are they all in Bakersfield or Visalia or Fresno, or because that's a pretty spread out for people that don't know?
Yeah, that is a pretty good distance. I mean, it could be 2 hours from Fresno to Bakersfield,
Yeah, it could be.
So the overwhelming majority of ours are going to be surrounding Visalia. That's our headquarters. That's our hometown. So we've got a number that are there. We've got some in the other smaller towns that make up kind of Tulare and Kings County.
Yep, I know.
So, we got some in Exeter, got some in Hanford,
Awesome.
got some in Tulare. Yeah.
All right. Well, very cool. So, and again, the flip the script, do you remember what it was that said, God damn it, I got to stop having another job? I mean, do you remember what it was at the beginning of 18?
Yeah, it was replacing income. It was wanting to have that steady flow of income that every month I knew that money was coming in.
Yeah.
And I could wake up knowing that's taken care of. Anything else I do is extra.
Exactly.
And really what the driver was is I'm 31 now. The driver was, I want to retire at 35 and not necessarily mean stop working, because I'm going to work my ass off for a long time, but have the choice to, like, I have the ability to say, you know what? Hey, this year I'm taking off, or this 3 months.
I'm going to go to Phuket for a year or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So having the choice and the freedom to make the decisions is something that went off in my head. And, I'm not going to get there by just continuing to clock in and clock out. I need to do something different that brings in that passive income. So that's what it was.
Yeah. And again, people watching this, wholesaling, flipping, yes, you can make lots of money. It's obviously better in a seller's market than maybe the changing one we're going into. Needless to say, you can do it, but it is nothing more than a job that you are handcuffed to. You can call yourself the CEO if you would like, but it's still a job. You're also the janitor, right? You're also the bookkeeper. You're also everything else. Don't get enamored with that. The true life-changing wealth comes from owning assets that other people pay for, which is in this case your tenants.
Right.
So, anything else you want to talk about your history? We sort of highlighted. I guess I have to ask. You got a cup of coffee in the NFL. What were you, a safety, a tackle? What were you?
Yeah, so I played tight end in college. And then part of my story why I exited the NFL was I went from playing tight end to then fullback for the Chargers.
Okay.
And for me, I mean, I played great. Norv Turner would tell me, oh, you're going to have a long career. Felt great, was playing great. Everything from the neck down felt great. Better than I had in my whole life. The treatment, the facilities, nutrition, everything was
on
first
point.
class.
Yeah.
But the neck up, I'm bashing heads every play at fullback,
Yeah.
and they used me in an athletic way where I wasn't just a battering ram, but there was plenty of battering ram going on to where, now I'm going back after practice, icing, the back of my head. That was the moment I was thinking to myself, you know what, I'm probably going to die if I keep doing this at an early age. And, Junior Seau, he was there. He had just retired. He was at practice giving us speeches, and later that year he killed himself.
I remember.
I just saw that it was everything that I wanted but just this little piece, which was concussions.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately I was starting to be susceptible to,
Sure.
and feel the effects. I just said, you know what, I could have a good, decent career, make some good money, and do what I'm passionate and love, and have wanted to do my whole life. But there's a whole lot of life to live.
Good for you.
Beyond
I'm sure that was a difficult decision, but I can say it, right? Who am I, right? It was the right decision, right? You're 60, 70 years you have, and you need your mental capabilities as sharp as possible. So I'm glad you
100%.
did it. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, the first 3-4 years out of it, I could still feel the effects. And
sure.
Years after that, I've felt improvement. I mean, my memory was starting to suffer a little bit. My body didn't quite feel 100%. It was kind of a scary deal. It woke me up and said, you know what? There's a better decision here. So
good for you.
That's what I chose.
All right. Well, let's talk about some better things. Where are you taking this bad boy? Because I love what you're doing now, wholesaling, which kind of feeds the machine, keeps it going. You're talking weeks for deals between
exactly.
Signing and closing, so you don't really have market issues too much. And then you have buy and hold, kind of the perfect match. Where are you taking this thing in 3 to 5 years? Where does Home Helpers Group go?
Yeah. So, you hit the nail on the head. Wholesaling, what I love so much about it, it's a short time frame. You eliminate a lot of the risk. Your risk in theory is your time and money spent on, finding and locating these properties. And so it's a completely different business model than flipping. You have to have completely different setup, skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different animal. We happen to be good at it. So I'm really feeling good about it and enjoying it. Going to just continue to pour into that and refine and tweak things and figure out how to be efficient there. So going to continue to drive that up and do great there. And then the buy and hold is just going to ramp that up as fast as possible and just pour the fire on it, or the fuel on it. As many deals that make sense, we're going to buy.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of using all the relationships and private money lenders and hard money lenders we've been using for flips, we're transitioning that and using them for more buy and holds. So we'll buy the property with our private lenders. We'll close on it. We'll start the renovation, rent it out, and refinance it.
Yep.
And
perfect.
Now that, short-term loan, private lender, they're out, their money is accessible, and rinse and repeat, right?
You got it.
So same type of model as flipping, but now we're keeping and holding and owning the property, and just adding that passive income to our portfolio.
That's awesome. So on the wholesaling side, are you cold calling, mailers, door knocking, bird dogs? What is or everything, nothing? What are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing everything, honestly.
Yeah.
In end of 2016 through middle of 2018, direct mail was undoubtedly our best and biggest spend and return. We dialed that way back because later half of 2018, it could be because people were flooding the market with direct mail.
Absolutely.
Or
as somebody who owns a lot of buy and hold, yes. I remember getting 50 mailers a day for like a week. Somebody came through with a guru show. It's like,
Yes.
Go mail every out of town owner, and pretty soon I'm getting 50 postcards from the same person. I'm like, you clearly didn't deduplicate your list, idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what we're up against. I saw the writing on the wall. We keep all of our
Cool.
KPIs in there. Could see the writing on the wall, like, oh, it's starting to diminish. The returns aren't there. So I dialed it back and retweaked it. We still do direct mail.
Yeah.
We still get deals from it, but it's not where we're, pouring,
Yeah.
our money into. So we're getting our deals from every which way. Wholesalers, agents, cold calling,
You
drive
keep
for
saying
dollars,
you keep
all
saying
of it.
we. Is it just you and your partner, or do you have employees, 1099 salespeople?
Yeah, we didn't get into that. That's true. So it's me and my partner,
Yep.
and then in 2000, I think it was end of 2017, beginning of 2018, we decided to bring in an office manager.
Okay.
So we brought in an office manager, and then we have an acquisitions manager that we brought in not there long after. And then ever since the beginning, my partner has had, because he's a real estate agent and would represent us on the flips, he has a transaction coordinator that he pays directly. So we've got a team of 4 basically. In 2018, we also had hired a project manager because we were just, burning and churning through these rehabs. Once we scaled it back, we no longer have the project manager because we don't have projects, right?
Yeah.
So that's our team, and we're continuing to tweak things, and we just got a lot of leads coming in, and we're trying every which way that you can, and you gotta. I think one message for people is that there is no one just perfect way. Everyone wants to know, where do I put my $500? Where do I put my $1,000? When I started with Sean Terry, he was bidding online on these houses, and it required $1,000 deposit. So I was putting my money there. Once I made money, I put a little bit towards some direct mail marketing, did some bandit signs, and you just got to slowly but surely get into it and see some results in one marketing channel and then grow it to the next. That was Sean Terry's advice, is maximize that one lead channel, be good at it, perfect it, and then move on to the next once you have money coming in.
That's awesome. Well, do you have any goals for your company in 19? Is it do another 100 wholesale deals this year, or do you think in years, in quarters, or months? How do you kind of plan that out?
So we look in years.
Okay.
One of the biggest things that we did that made a huge impact was in 2018, we put in place, sounds very simple, and from a corporate background, this, I know this, but you got to apply it. Having a regular cadence of certain types of meetings are very impactful, and tracking and measuring things. So in 2018, we put that in place. We have, a weekly meeting to go through all of our projects. And all of a sudden we were much more in cadence, understood, what we need to do and how. So we did that. And then also we have an acquisitions meeting every week now too. So we're dialed in on our leads. We're focused there. And surrounding all of that, for the first time, 2019, we put a business plan together and shared it with everybody. Not that there's, a ton of employees, but we shared it with the greater crowd and said, here's our goals. And every week we review it. How are we doing against these goals? So we want to do we want to do 65 wholesales at a minimum.
Yep.
Okay. And we want to do 3 rentals a month. So whatever that equates to.
It's 101.
36, right?
Yeah, 36 and 65. So 101 transactions.
Exactly. So there you go.
Good for you.
So we want to do 65 wholesales,
36.
3 rentals a month.
Okay.
And we're tracking on that right now. I think we're shy on a wholesaler too, but our pipeline shows that we'll be fine. So
good for you.
So we're tracking on it. We're feeling good about it, and we're excited for the future, and just keep improving as we go along.
Well, very, very good, Dean. This has been a lot of fun for me, as I knew it would be. I always turn over the show at the end of the guest. How would you like people to get a hold of you if they want to contact you, find you, know more about Home Helpers Group? anything you want, the floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, man. So Dean Rodgers of Home Helpers Group, if you want to get a hold of me, you can reach me directly at my email, dean@homehelpersgroup.com. You can text me directly, goes right to my cell phone, 559-471-3333, who I'm looking to connect with. If you're a private lender, you're looking to put some money to work, we give great returns, and we've got amazing long relationships with all of our private lenders. So happy to talk to you about that. Wholesalers that are just getting started, that are experienced, whatever, again, we're still buying flips and doing deals. So that's how we're doing deals now. We're getting deals from wholesalers, putting those together. So we always want to talk with wholesalers, and I always open myself up to not just getting a deal from you, but helping you, teaching you, like, what is a good deal? How do you do comps? All the stuff you really want someone to sit beside you when you're starting and tell you, how do I really do this? Like, I just don't get it. Like I didn't when I first started. I'm happy to share that, because we can both benefit and grow together through that, and build a relationship. If you're an agent, we love working with agents. Happy to put deals together. That's pretty much the main audience.
That's great, Dean. And again, thank you for doing this. You've been so much fun. I look forward to watching your success and seeing where the future holds for you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for what you do. Love your podcast. So much good information for people. Got to take advantage of it. Your book is awesome. I mean, the message for people, it literally is just one at a time, and you can build upon that. You got to get started, though.
You got to get 0 to 1 is tough, but we can help.
Yes.
Very
Absolutely.
cool.